Growing up, golfing has always been one of my favorite activities. Like many, I enjoy spending a lot of my time outside walking around. When I was younger, we moved to a house that was right on a golf course, so I decided that this was the perfect opportunity to pick up golf. Golf is a perfect way to do the things I love, but also being able to compete in it as well. However, the putting aspect of golf was not always something that came easy to me, as it may seem. As a golfer reaches the green, the golfer must know how to read the green, how to precisely line their ball, and how to make the proper stroke so that the ball goes into the hole. First, the golfer must know how to read the green. In order to get a good idea of what the green is like, the best method is to step behind your ball and take a few minutes to analyze the green and the way the ground lays. Start by walking around the edge of the green to get an idea of not only your spot, but how it may roll if it goes over. Determining if the slope is slanted is also an important part in order to know how the ball may roll and how it may curve. If the green is on a slope, if the green is slanted from side to side and the hole is in front of you, then one must aim towards the direction of the higher point of the slope so that the ball may roll from the higher point to the lower point into the hole. If the hole is going uphill, then the putt must be a little bit harder, and if the hole is going downhill, then the putt must be a little softer. If the slope is going uphill, then it needs to be harder so that the ball has enough speed to reach the hole. If it is going downhill, then the putt must be softer and a lighter touch so that the ball does not roll past the hole by a lot. Next, the golfer must be able to correctly line the ball. In order to correctly line your ball, the first step is to use a mark. In order to correctly use the mark must be taken out and placed directly behind the ball once it is already on the green. Once the mark is properly in the ground, you may remove the ball and decide on your ball how you want to line up your ball so that the arrow in the center of the ball is directed towards the hole. In order to remove the mark once you are ready to putt out, you must place the mark right back. You must place your ball right in front of where the mark has been located and pick up the mark so that it does not get in the way of your swing. Marks are important so that if one person is wanting to take a little extra time to analyze the green and line up their ball properly, then others may be able to go ahead of them and finish their putt while one is still deciding on their ball. But then once that person is ready, the mark can be placed right back where the ball can be placed right back where the mark has been placed so that they may finish their putt. Lastly, it is important to know how to correctly swing a putter because it is much different than the rest of the clubs. In order to hold the putter, you must grip it more at the end of the shaft in order to ensure that you have maximum control over how you swing. This is an important part, such as if you are putting uphill, you must putt firmer, and downhill is softer. Having a grip in the middle of the shaft lets you have the most control over the club. Lastly, in order to know how to correctly swing, your feet must also be about shoulder width apart, and your back must be bent over so that you are able to have control over your legs and be able to see the ball. Your shoulders must hang directly down from where your stance is, and your head should stay still so that you are only moving your shoulders and your arms. Those are the two things that should be moving in this process, and at this point, since you're putting, your feet should not be rotating. It is important that your arms are also bent slightly so that you are able to have control, like talked about previously. In conclusion, putting is a difficult process, but it can become easier with simple steps and lots of practice. Such as my experience moving here, going to the driving range was a great way to practice every day so that I could better my game. Reading in green is a great start to knowing what to expect once you are on the putting surface. With the proper method of lining the ball, putting becomes a much easier part of the game. A smooth stroke is the last step of putting that will ensure you a par. Putting can make or break one's round, but with practice and the best strategies, you can cut down on your strokes as well. Thank you.